Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the webinar on Travel South over Cloud. My name is Xiaojun Grace Wang, Deputy Director of the United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation. It is such a great pleasure to moderate the conversation with you all today, with municipal government, provincial government, think tanks, and NGO from the Global South on promoting South-South cooperation in the area of digital innovations for the recovery and growth of tourism sector for the purpose of achieving SDGs. UN Office for South-South Cooperation is very delighted to bring forward this opportunity supported by the city's South-South Cooperation Project. Special thanks also go to the World Tourism Organization for partnership and to the Phoenix TV for their media support. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in significant challenges to the world economy, especially in traditional sectors such as tourism. As all challenges bring with them opportunities to change, during this pandemic, we also see a strong beam of light, the power of digital technology. It has shown effectiveness and great potential in supporting us contain the pandemic and recover from the social economic disruptions. However, will this beam of light guide us further beyond the pandemic? Will the momentum of leveraging digitalization sustain? Will it be possible to transform our business models, our production and consumption patterns to be more sustainable? How can South-South and triangular cooperation advance such a transformation for the world to recover better, faster, and stronger? Today, let us put all these questions to test in the tourism sector. Now, please allow me to welcome opening remarks by Mr. Jorge Chadillac, UN Office for South-South Cooperation Director and the UN Secretary General's Envoy on South-South Cooperation. Mr. Chadillac, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Grace. First, I would like to greet Your Excellency, Mr. He Jinping, the Vice Governor of Henan Province in China, Isoritsa Urosevi, the Director of Institutional Relations and Partnerships at the World Tourism Organization. I want to greet all the panelists and colleagues. And I want to start by welcoming you, as Grace did, to this webinar, Travel South over Cloud. It is organized by our office in partnership with all of you under the framework of a project we have, which is called South-South Cooperation among Maritime Continental Silk Road Cities for Sustainable Development. First, as I said, I would like to express my special gratitude to the World Tourism Organization for their engagement and participation, to Phoenix TV for the media support to this webinar, and more importantly, more specifically, to all of you local authorities that took the challenge to reflect about what we're going to do, how tourism or how the spirit of tourism can be maintained with the very strong restrictions that COVID has imposed on all of us. And tourism, as Grace mentioned, has been one of the most affected activities as a result of the pandemic. The limitations of mobility, the limitations also on mobilities at the local level have really blocked a lot of the progress that have been made in the development of tourism as an industry and as a cultural product. And this is very critical because tourism, through the jobs it provides, has been developing as one of the critical components for humankind to achieve the objective of eliminating poverty. It generates massive amounts of jobs, it generates a lot of economic activity, and well done, it can also become a pillar of developing a model of sustainability. So we have to find a way to first neutralize as much as possible the damage that these limitations have imposed on tourism and take the opportunity to think how we can rebuild and restore a path of growth after the COVID pandemic, the worst effects are mitigated. So this is a good opportunity for us in the context of this initiative that I mentioned, the project of the cities of the Global Belt and Road, to get a group of cities and local governments from the South to reflect on how we can use digitalization to enhance tourism. Now we have significant means of technology that allow us to communicate as we are doing now. We are in probably 20 different locations and we're seeing each other and we're listening to each other in real time. But we have to leverage these same mechanisms to generate a new demand and a new paradigm for tourism. And one of the things our partners are doing here is utilizing that digital technology to showcase the potential of what they are doing in their own city, in their own regions, countries, cities, to become magnets and centers for tourism. And I have to say I had the honor to visit several of the places that are present here, from Henan province to some of the cities, to Sao Paulo in Brazil, to many cities in Mexico, to Tashkent. And I really have to the feeling of the immense beauty and the immense potential for cultural exchanges that all your places represent. And I really would like to see how you have translated that into digital mechanisms, into digital vehicles, into digital tools, and also find a way to retain the importance of the economic activity that tourism generates and tourism represents for now and for the future. Finally, let me say that I want to really welcome all of you again. Look forward to hearing from you. I may have to leave a little early because I have another event, but I hope that the next time we contact each other, as powerful and interesting as these digital communications are, we will be able to meet in person and visit all of you and visit each other in our own beautiful places and really have tourism restored to its full potential and its full reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chediak, for your very insightful comments on the importance of restoring the path of growth through the recovery of the tourism sector, leveraging digital solution, and the role of South-South cooperation to facilitate sharing and partnership. Yes, we do share the same wish that we can meet one day and we can fully recover and enjoy the tourism sector. Now I have the pleasure to welcome Ms. Zorita Jurosavic, Director of the Institutional Relations and Partnership Department of the UN World Tourism Organization, for her remarks. Ms. Jurosavic's department is responsible for providing policy advice for external relations, strategic partnerships, and financing for development to the Secretariat, including the integration of the 2030 agenda and the UN reform. So, Ms. Jurisovic, the floor is yours.
Grace, thank you very much. Mr. Jorge Chediak and Excellencies and colleagues and friends, it is a true honor for the UNWTO to join a truly global conversation today. Travel South over Cloud is all about the importance of digitalization in COVID-19 recovery efforts. And we can just testify that it works because we are all connected all over the world. It has brought the world to the standstill, and tourism has been the worst. We know that prior to the pandemic, we had an average of 4% growth per year. In the pandemic, on the sector, our latest data for the first quarter identifies 3 possible scenarios for the months ahead. Depending on are lifted, international tourist arrivals could decline by 60 to 80% in 2020. This could translate in a decline of export revenues from tourism between 910 billion and place 100 to 120 million jobs at risk. Recognizing that socioeconomic recovery will need to integrate decisive and innovative responses for the broad and complex tourism ecosystem, it is clear that we have a unique opportunity to build back better. And this is what we will be trying to do today, inspiring action for the future. Innovation, digitalization, and green growth are fully part of the response for tourism. I would like to share with you a few slides that we have prepared, because I think that as the World Tourism Organization, we have been involved in supporting member states and companies to try to find solutions. We have set a number of priorities, and what is interesting enough is that in most of the priorities, as you can see, we have 7 key priorities. And in all those 7 key priorities, being it at all levels, being it in recovering confidence, being it in creating incentives, being it in using digitalization for various purposes, the technology device and digitalization are really key to the response. What I would like to share with you what we have done, it was the 9th of March that the Secretary General came to Geneva to meet Dr. Tedros in WHO. And interesting enough, immediately we decided with the WHO to launch a tourism challenge called Healing Solutions, healing for people, healing for prosperity, and healing for destination. This gives us a real overall scope of the opportunities that digitalization provides to fighting the crisis. And we launched the challenge on the 20th of March, and we had an incredible number, about 1,183 projects from 110 countries, developing and developed. And this is where the beauty lies, because I can say that so many solutions came from the South that are going to bring eventually opportunities even for the North, not speaking just South, that we were quite impressed by the quality of the submissions and how much now already there is an uptake from those solutions that were brought to the light of everyone. We had an event for the closing where we had 9,000 people connected for the final. And I can say the most used technologies are virtual and augmented reality, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, and blockchains. And I think that we have learned a lot from this own challenge, and we are now engaging and supporting countries in the recovery processes and efforts to really fully integrate digitalization in their efforts. We are currently as well have created a space on the Tourism for Sustainable Development Goals platform, a space that is a co-creation space to inspire and empower, which offers you the opportunity to share your own offers, initiatives, events to promote recovery. And we have currently launched during the high-level political forum with the Secretary General and member states a global startup competition for sustainable development goals as the response to our commitment to the UN Decade for Action. So you are all really welcome to discover what it entails. It is until September. Submissions are really welcome. We have several other initiatives that can help immediately everyone around the table. I can see around the globe today to join is the next one as well on hospitality. One is Inspiration Africa Challenge, because member states from the African continent are really joining forces because the country really needs support. And as well, an hospitality challenge where deadline for application is on 31st of August. So I really believe that we need to focus on a people-centered approach. I trust that through our collective action, we will be able to transform tourism, advance its contribution to the 2030 agenda, and its shift towards an inclusive and carbon neutral sector that harnesses innovation and digitalization, embraces local values and communities, and create decent job opportunity for all, leaving no harm behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yurisovic, for the perspectives, views, advices, and the important work done at the UNWTO. As you highlighted, early planning is very important. And thank you for sharing the recovery package. I hope it will be utilized by many of us joining today and others. Digital measures for border management, for touchless travel, for access to information, for whole of government and society approach. I especially like, when you emphasize through digital technology to engage young people's participation. And you emphasize so much on solutions, solutions, solutions. So that leads nicely to our next session, which is very exciting, that we will hear solutions from the Global South. We will hear stories from national and local representatives from Henan province of China, Feiji, Sao Paulo city of Brazil, Dunhuang city in China, and Tashkent city of Uzbekistan. Now, let me have the pleasure first to welcome His Excellency Mr. He Jinping, Vice Governor of the Henan Province of China, to tell us how Henan Province utilizes digital technologies to advance the development of the tourism industry. Before Mr. He takes the floor, I think a webinar as such on tourism should not lack the fun of tourism, the beauty of nature, and the taste of culture. So His Excellency Mr. He has also generously brought to us a short city tourism video illustrating Henan's landscape and sceneries as a preface to his talk. So let's watch the video first. Wow, very exciting. My heart is already flying there. Okay, Mr. He, the floor is yours. We look forward to hear from you.
Honorable Mr. George Chediak, Ms. Zurista Jurasevic, ladies and gentlemen, and representatives from different cities in the world. Firstly, I would like to thank UNOSSC and UNWTO for your understanding and support for Henan. We hope to take this opportunity to establish friendly, cooperative relations with cities of different countries. With digitalized technologies amid COVID-19, we could enhance cooperation and jointly advance the recovery of international tourism industry. Sitting at the center of China and the lower reaches of the Yellow River, Henan is a cradle of Chinese nation and civilizations. It occupies an area of 167,000 square kilometers and has a population of 107 million. Holland has a long history and splendid culture. It's a place where the ancient Silk Road began in the east and home to all Chinese. Throughout the 5,000-year history of the Chinese civilization, Henan has been the country's political, economic, and cultural center. Of the top 8 ancient cities in China, 4 are located in Henan: Zhengzhou, Luoyang, Kaifeng, and Anyang. Paper-making, compass, gunpowder, and printing, 4 great inventions of ancient China, made their way to the world from Henan. World Heritage sites in the province, including Longmen grottos in Luoyang, ruins of Ying Dynasty in Anyang, historical monuments of Danfeng in the center of heaven and earth. It is a commonwealth of all the human beings. We have the Shaolin Kung Fu and Renshi Tai Chi. They're introduced to the world. Each year, hundreds of thousands of people come across to the world to Henan to learn Kung Fu in Shaolin Temple and Tai Chi in Chanjiagou village.
Here in Henan, we see the magnificent mountains and the spectacular sceneries. With majestic mountains, lively rivers, and streams, the natural scenery and cultural sites together paint a colorful picture of beautiful Henan. The province boasts magnificent mountains, among which Songshan Mountain is regarded as the ancestor of all mountains. Funiu Mountain witnessed the heyday of dinosaur era, and Jigong Mountain is one of the top 4 summer resorts in China. The rivers in Henan are charming. Springs in Jiaozuo's Yuntai Mountain and Qinglong Gorge, and those in Xinjiang's Baligou and Baochuan's Snake Zone travel along the cliffs just like a flowing jade. The man-made Red Flag Canal is a marvelous work of humans. It's known as the 8th wonder in the world. Henan boasts a vast territory of plains. In the eastern Henan Plain, one of the most flat plains in China or even in the world, farmland and forest are sitting side by side, and rivers and roads are connected. Henan develops rapidly with shining achievement. Here we have most elaborate expressway networks in China, the first star-shaped high-speed railway network in the country, and the first terminal station for 250 km/h high-speed train in Asia. Zhengzhou Airport is one of the 8 hub airports in China, with an annual passenger throughput of 29 million. Taking off from Zhengzhou, you may reach most of China's major cities within 2 hours of flights. We also have 40 overseas cargo routes and 29 overseas passenger routes, reaching out throughout the world. In June this year, we see the cargo transport reached 60.6%. It's a leading number in the world. Zhengzhou, the provincial capital, is stepping up building itself into the national-centric city, with Zhengzhou Europe Freight Train air cargo service between Zhengzhou and Luxembourg, cross-border e-commerce and serial freight train serving as the Silk Road by land, Silk Road in the air, online Silk Road, and maritime Silk Road respectively. Henan strengthens its ties and enhances interactions with the rest of the world. For a long time, Henan has attached great importance to digitalization in various fields, especially in culture and in tourism. We lead the country in setting up smart tourism platforms and share data with aviation, railway information networks. We have connected our information platform with that of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. With well-connected networks in place, we are in a position to deliver all-round services, unified management, and efficient monitoring. As we are going to fight the COVID-19 for a long time to come, Henan has been in partnership with online platforms, including 今日头条 Today's Headlines, Tencent, Ctrip, and Kuaishou, to launch online events like Appreciate the Puny Flowers on the Cloud. Also, we have online promotions, appeal to customers and sell products, and introduce the world's beautiful scenery, delicious cuisine, and lovely guest houses in Henan, so that more tourists would come to our province and take a sip of Henan and live in Henan. Right now, Henan's tourism market has recovered back to around 60% of the number of tourists of the previous year's level, which is among the best in China. We also collaborated with more than 600 cultural and tourism creators to post online their created pictures and short videos so that people will be focused on the beautiful Yuntai Mountain. And we attracted 700 million viewers, and more than 250,000 travelers has been charmed by annual passes. And by June, this native site received 380,000 tourists, generated 32 million yuan revenue for travels, which has recovered to 90% of the previous year level. Ladies and gentlemen, Henan is a fantastic place. I would like to invite you all to come and visit us to see its spectacular mountains and waters, experience our profound culture, and practice Shaolin Kung Fu, and to feel the vitality of today's Henan.
谢谢何省长. Thank you very much, Mr. He, for your introduction of Henan's innovative measures in digital connectivity, in data sharing, and using internet to promote and recover tourism sector. This is not only building back better, but also reforming the business model of tourism in terms of marketing and also promotion. So women's in the global south, but also bring you opportunities for even deeper and broader partnership of Henan and the world. Thank you very much. Now, after learning from an inland province in China, let's take a virtual tour over the cloud all over to a charming island country, Fiji. We're pleased to have Ms. Emma Campbell, Director Marketing for Tourism, Fiji, to give us a presentation on Fiji's digital solutions in the tourism sector. So let's fly all over to Fiji.
Hola. Hi, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here this morning. My name is Emma Campbell, and I am the Director of Marketing at Tourism Fiji. I am based in Nandi in Fiji, where it's a beautiful sunshiny morning, I have to say. And today I'm here to talk to you about Tourism Fiji's digital activity and how it's impacting our COVID response. So before I start, I do just want to share with you a quick video that showcases our destination.
It's funny, the whole world is searching for happiness. Here, it finds you.
So I can testify that Fiji truly is the place where happiness finds you. And a couple of the ways that Tourism Fiji are really bringing that to life. One of our key strategic imperatives is to add value to our brand. And we do that through taking a storytelling approach. And taking that storytelling approach really relies on digital tools to allow us to reach audiences where they are. Digital helps us to tell stories right across the customer journey. So this is very much a traditional pre-COVID travel funnel where we can see that people are dreaming, planning, booking, and then experiencing and reflecting on their trips. And certainly for Tourism Fiji, we recognise that more and more consumers are using digital tools to actually work with their potential visitors at every one of these 5 stages. With that in mind, we have developed a fabulous website and we did launch a new website late last year. And that website really acts as our shop front for our destination and allows our whole industry to participate and really being part of that storytelling approach. I'll just show you a quick video that summarises what our website does. Thank you. So some of the ways in which we're using digital tools to help us in our COVID response. To give you some context, Fiji has a huge tourism industry. Around about 40% of Fiji's GDP is in the tourism industry. Fiji have also done a phenomenal job in containing and stopping the spread of COVID. Only had initially came into in the community. These were stopped very, quickly due to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. We had about 60, more than that, days without a case, and we now have 9 cases that are in border quarantine, so are completely contained, and have been as a result of Fijians coming back into the country from other countries that they had been in. They are in hotel quarantine, they're in isolation, and they pose no risk to our country. So we're at the stage now we can really start to think about opening up our borders to countries who are also COVID contained, and have had similar responses to Fiji. But in the meantime, what we are doing is we're doing 2 things. We're staying present in the hearts and minds of our potential visitors, and we've got a focus on domestic tourism. So in terms of staying present in hearts and minds, what we are actually doing is just staying really visible on social media. We don't have a huge budget to spend at the moment because, let's face it, we're not going to get return on investment. However, what we do know is that it's really important to get out with our key messages so that people don't forget where Fiji is. And to do that, we're really focusing on our number 1 point of difference, which is the wonderful people who are in Fiji. And we're telling the world that our Bula spirit awaits you. For anybody that's been in Fiji, Bula is our welcome, it's our greeting, and it's how we really share love with each other, with a huge Bula and a hello. And what we're doing is really taking that spirit to the world and telling people that Fiji is still here, it's prepared, and it's waiting. We're seeing that playing out predominantly across social media, and I do encourage you all to have a look at our channels. We're on Tourism Fiji. As you can see, that focus on people is really coming through our creative, and we have had a really strong, constant social media pipeline playing out to ensure we stay in people's hearts and minds through this time. We've also seen some really amazing stories of hope and optimism from across our destination. We're seeing people really coming up with innovative solutions to the challenges that are facing them, and people really working together to support each other and support less fortunate people. So with that in mind, we decided to share some of that optimism with the world, and we've set up a short news programme called Happier TV, which you will find on our YouTube channel or also on our Facebook channel, and that's performing incredibly well, putting people's smiles on their faces and really associating Fiji with happiness again. The other strategy that I mentioned was our focus on domestic tourism. What we've done is we've launched a product called Love Our Locals Fiji. Now, historically, people in Fiji don't get out and about and travel that much. Everybody's busy. But at the moment, with many of our resorts not having any international visitors, our industry partners have come on board and given some really attractive deals for our local Fijian people. And in return, people in Fiji are really returning the favour by having lots of weekends away and enjoying domestic tourism at this time. Our campaign is all about loving Fiji and playing and staying in Fiji, and it plays out really simply using digital tools that are accessible to everybody. We've got our website and we've also got a Facebook group, and I'll just play you a short video of our Facebook group. And yeah, this was a really simple and pragmatic solution in terms of getting our offers out there and making sure that they were consolidated in one place. Previously, when resort partners or industry partners did locals deals, they were quite fragmented and they were marketed in many different ways. But now what we've done is we've just pulled it all together, and we're seeing some great results. People can actually filter to look at the different things that they want to look for, whether it's things to do, places to eat. And basically we had a KPI of 5,000 visitors to join this site. And we've now actually reached over 8,000 visitors as of today. So performing incredibly well, and the feedback that we're getting from industry has been phenomenal. This platform has really helped my business. I'm so glad you created it. We've been fully booked at the weekends and also during the week, and we really thank your team for the promotion on Love Our Locals. It's really working well for us. what we're seeing is that some accommodation providers are reporting around 62% average weekend occupancy, which when you think about it, before we had a very, very small domestic tourism market, and now we are actually seeing Fijians getting back into jobs because of this domestic push. We are seeing that mainly it's weekend stays, but a little bit longer, and some people opting for those slightly longer stays. So by using really simple digital tools that everybody, or most people, have access to, we are able to create a platform that allows Fijian people to get back to jobs, and our tourism industry to actually start promoting themselves even through these difficult times. So in terms of some of the ways that we're using digital tools during COVID, we've got our website as part of our shopfront for our stories. We have industry listings to allow all tourism businesses to have a presence. We have social media marketing allowing us to stay present even when times and budgets are challenging. And we're connecting with our domestic audiences and marketing to them in really simple but effective ways. We're also allowing our industry partners platforms to connect with potential visitors. So overall, I don't know what we would have done without digital tools through COVID, because basically they really are helping us to be quite impactful with the marketing activities that we are undertaking at the moment. And in turn, this is setting us up for a really strong re-entry when the time is right. So that is all from me. I do wish to say a huge Vinaka Vakalevu, which is thank you here in Fiji, Sotatali, which is see you later. I do really appreciate you taking the time to listen, and feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Vinaka.
Thank you very much, Ms. Campbell, for your sharing of the good practices of Fiji for using digital means, especially social media, to support not only the tourism sector, but individuals' experience, enhance the storytelling, connecting people with the country. So nice to know that the containment of the pandemic in the country, and hope the recovery will be smooth for more people to enjoy the happy hour with you and to connect to the stories of Fiji. Thank you very much. I will learn the language before go there. Well, travel over the cloud can save us a lot of time. So within a half hour or so, actually within a few seconds, we will land in São Paulo, Brazil. So attention all passengers, fasten your seatbelt and prepare for landing.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, in that case, let me have the pleasure to introduce our guide to São Paulo, Ms. Michelle Vincenti, Director of Technical Division to Promote Tourism, and Mr. Juan Botaro, Special Advisor at the Tourism Secretariat, to be our guide to a digital São Paulo.
São Paulo, a city that's always moving, a city that never stops to grow. The land of the great opportunities, São Paulo, city of the world. São Paulo, the place for doing business, land of the many, land of the brave, heart of Brazil, your epic indeed, São Paulo, city of the world.
The city that's constantly moving. 18% of the nation's GDP. Window of the best brands in the world. Multicultural and friendly. Sao Paulo welcomes and embraces. The main host city of LATAM events. The leading city for FDI and LATAM. Sao Paulo produces 7% of all Brazilian export goods. Sao Paulo, the city that has its own pace. A fast pace. A city that knows how to express itself. Creative and innovative. Sao Paulo breeds arts and culture in many ways. The city recognizes the value of education. After all, some of the best universities of the country are in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is proud to be great in several different ways.
São Paulo, city of the world.
The floor is yours, Mr. Bakara.
Okay. And the first time, we'd like to say thank you so much to invite us, Municipal Tourism Secretary, to participate in this webinar. After that, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Juarez, working in Special Advisor, and introduce my partner here in this webinar, Michelle Fernanda. We made a small presentation and special about São Paulo Tourism Plan called Platoon. Our municipal plan has a big participation with government actions to develop a public tourism policy for the needs of a municipality. The São Paulo city appeared in the search for hotels on the Google platform in the second place. Tourism Observatory data in 2018, São Paulo received more than 15 million tourists who injected 13 billion in the local economy. IBGE data indicated that tourism contribute 3.7% national GDP and 3% of total jobs in the country. Brazil went from 4 million international tourist arrivals in 2003 to more than 6 million the last years. The platoon has...
Next. 4 minutes. Next. Okay, thanks.
The platoon has 15 consolidated strategic objectives. Will not be changed because the actions are projected until 2030. Platoon 2019-21 is the result of offers municipal tourism secretary plus municipal tourism council plus tourism student. And finally, because we had the first municipal tourism conference in August 2019. Right now, I'm going to get the word out for my partner, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Okay, next, please. The document is divided in 5 guild axes. 1, strengthening and institutional articulation. We have the success of Vem Triangle and Vem Triangle Kids. Next. Okay, thanks. Secondly, intelligent carrying of events. With this complete events and o Project Live, com transmissão das contemplates de Martinelli Building, de IRF Matarazzo Building, de Municipal Markets Mercadão, Beco do Batman, Teatro Municipal, and Cada Vento Museu. This Thursday, we visit Japan House e another usual attraction in the city. Next. The documents to second intelligent calendar of events. Preparation of a manual called This Complete Events, which we enable the events promoter to get to know the budgets, the alone listings for events to be held from his office. Next. 3, next, the document, 3, segmentation and territorial develop. Criar a thematic rosso café route,
ecotourism pole, special soccer route, and geeky route, among others.
Yes.
4,
next,
improving the tourist experience.
okay.
Improving the tourist experience. And number 5, tourist promotion and support to commercialization.
Yes. Next.
During the pandemic too, the City Hall through the Department of Tourism has been attentive until now. In order to meet immediate needs, emergency measures were put into place, such as intermediation and action to accommodate health professionals. People are risky to tourism who were unable to return to their country of origin in the hotels. Implementation and monitoring of Vidas no Centro program, together with the Social Assistance and Development Secretary and other actions. We are very satisfied with the results of the work so far, and we are looking for the best tools to meet the expectations of São Paulo and the tourists. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Botaro and Ms. Michelle Vincente. Thank you for your presentations of Sao Paulo. And we learned from you also the city's strategies in utilizing digital technologies to promoting tourism. You also highlighted enhancing the tourist experiences. And it's the city's homegrown solutions to protect and maintain the tourism sector during the pandemic. Thank you very much. We already have the charm and the enthusiasm of the city. Thank you. Well, within a short span of half an hour, we have traveled from China to Fiji and then Brazil. This reminded me of an ancient legend in China that ferries can fly over the cloud. And one day up there, you may experience as much as normal people would spend 1 year for. The images of those legendary ferries can be found in a place in China called Dunhuang. I have the pleasure now to take all of you to this legendary place and welcome Mr. Song Jiming, Vice Mayor of Dunhuang City, to tell us all about it. Mr. Song supervises the culture and tourism sectors of Dunhuang City. He has engineered many branded conferences such as Dunhuang Silk Road Cultural Tourism Festival, Silk Road Dunhuang International Culture Expo, and China Green Companies Summit. So now let's move on to the legendary city of Dunhuang. Let's watch the video first, and then the floor will be for Mr. Song Jiming.
高窟第45窟。
下一站带你去阳关。
马上到阳关喽。
representatives from the United Nations Office of South-South Cooperation and World Tourism Organization, dear friends from cities in other developing countries, good evening to you. In this critical period when people of the world are fighting against COVID-19, I'm very happy to participate in this online seminar on behalf of Dunhuang City, Jiuquan of Gansu Province. On behalf of people of Dunhuang City, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to the organizer to the webinar, the UNOSSC, and a sincere welcome to all the friends participating to this webinar. My hometown, Dunhuang, is located at the western end of Hexi Corridor of China. Here locates the World Cultural Heritage Mogao Grottoes, Yumen Pass, and Xunquan Hometai's. It's a famous historical and cultural city known as Dunhuang of the world and mankind. With rapid development of IT technology, digitalization and intelligence have been widely used in the protection, inheritance, and promotion of Dunhuang culture. In 2013, Dunhuang was listed as a national smart city pilot and won the honorary title of China's leading smart city for 3 consecutive years. In 2016, in the Barcelona Global Smart City Expo, Dunhuang won the award of Smart City. So with such digital and smart tourism development model, Dunhuang City, like the rest of China, has played a huge role in fighting against the pandemic and restoring economic development. This is mainly thanks to all of the support of leaders and governments dedicated to use digitalization and intelligence to inherit and protect our culture. We built the world's first Mogao Grottoes digital exhibition center that reproduces the grotto art through panoramic roaming technology. We use digital photography, 3D scanning, and other technologies to collect the cave interiors, frescoes, and painted sculptures. Through the 8,000 cinema system, visitors can have an immersive experience. And for the 53 intangible cultural heritage, audiovisual manuscripts have been digitalized, and we have continuously improved the monitoring and management of the main and peripheral cultural relics. We also adhere to intelligence to promote the publicity of Dunhuang culture. We built online platform for Dunhuang grottoes, Dunhuang studies resources, and we built database for Dunhuang studies and research works and grottoes content. We have built a general catalog for all of this information. Digitally, we collected and stored more than 500,000 pieces of data and pictures, established a database for historical site, tourist information, and folk culture. We utilize modern communication technology and geographic information technology to develop a virtual parametric display system. So travelers from all over the world, you can actually witness our beautiful scenery and pictures online. We would like to make such a beauty of Dunhuang's culture shared by people around the world. Therefore, we had a professional online promotion team, and we have an online-offline coordination system where we have offline service and online display, search, and transaction. For travelers with different needs, we provide personalized service. We work with internet companies like Baidu and Tencent. We have the brand areas, WeChat, Weibo, big data analysis to have Dunhuang tourism flagship scores and special product shops so that we have precise marketing of our creative product. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19, Dunhuang City fully implemented various policies of China and would like to make full play of digitalization and intelligence tools in the tourism industry, actively promoted sustainable and healthy development of cultural tourism. We have this cloud travel mode in which we developed a traveling Dunhuang platform and software. So we have such a way to display on the internet. Tourism from all over the world can stay at home, enjoy the beauty of Dunhuang by moving their fingertips around the screen. We also have cloud live broadcast. We have the tourism bureau on the cloud invite celebrities to carry out live broadcasts in their travel in Dunhuang. So global tourists would be able to appreciate the beauty of Dunhuang's culture and the scenery of the vast desert through live videos. We also have cloud marketing, promote these webcard live delivery activities in which we have internet celebrities to endorse, publicize, and market our creative product and agricultural product online, so local enterprises and residents can expand their marketing channels and have extra revenues. Dear colleagues and friends, the city of Dunhuang had done quite a lot in promoting the development of cultural tourism industry with digitalization, but that is only a microscope of China's development. There are many other developments in China's vast land, all the other cities that are also worth our learning. We sincerely invite all of the friends to come to China and visit us in Dunhuang. Finally, I wish you all good health, all the best, and I wish this conference a success.
Thank you, Mr. Song, for introducing Dunhuang's digital solutions, especially how digitalization can help to better preserve and share the cultural heritage of humankind, and how to combine tourism with e-commerce, like cloud marketing. And you emphasized during the process engaging small and medium enterprises as important actors on the value chain of tourism. And you emphasized the mutual learning, city to city. There are many cities in China that can learn from each other. And that's the spirit of South-South cooperation as well, to help countries and cities to learn from each other all over the world. Thank you very much for your sharing today. Well, next, let's travel together to the Tashkent city of Uzbekistan. We're pleased to have Mr. Izzatbek Duravyev, First Deputy Director of Department of Tourism Department of Tashkent City. Mr. Turayev worked as Trade and Economic Counselor at the Embassy of the Republic of Uzbekistan to the Republic of Singapore from 2015 to 2018, and then also worked at the Ministry of Foreign Economic Relations, Investment and Trade of Uzbekistan from 2011 to 2015. Well, before his presentation, again, let us take a virtual tour to Tashkent first. Mr. Durayev, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm glad to see you on this webinar. And let me present to your attention a report on a topic, leveraging digitalization for the recovery and growth of tourism in Tashkent city. So Tashkent is a capital of Uzbekistan. It's located in Central Asia, as you know, and in ancient time, the Tashkent city was one of the it was one of the main points along the Great Silk Road, as you know, and as we see, you can see the Tashkent in figures. The Tashkent is rapidly developing its economy. The GDP of Tashkent has rose to 5.8 billion USD, and the city 2.5 million citizens living in Tashkent, and with 1% of annual growth. Currently in the region Tashkent, we have around more than 700 kindergartens with 344 schools and 114 professional colleges, also 44 universities, and year by year the branches of world famous universities and institutes are opening in Tashkent, their branches. Also, in the next slide, you can see the hospitality and tourism infrastructure of Tashkent, and we are focusing to build more hotels and hostels in Tashkent, because year by year, tourist flow is increasing. Only on this year for the COVID pandemics, it's the tourist flow is not stopped, but kindly low. So if you can see on this slide, with the increase of tourist flow to Tashkent, the local administration is working hard in order to ensure that every tourist has a safe and comfortable place to stay. Currently, Tashkent has 327 hotels and hostels with a room capacity for more than 9,000, with bed capacity 20,000 beds. Also, we can see that in addition that the leisure industry is also rapidly developing. There are almost 2,000 restaurants and cafes that can sit up for it's around 170,000 guests. Also, Tashkent is popular for tourists with religious interest. Also, the capital has 119 mosques and 17 ancient schools. That means madrasas. And on the next stage slide, we can tell that the Uzbekistan is opening to whole world because of right now. In 2019, on the presidential decree, he signed up. Our president signed up the e-visa system, so it helps for the citizens of 76 countries, including 64 developing countries' citizens, to use the e-visa system. And as you see, right now, from 1st of January 2020, citizens of 87 countries can enter to Uzbekistan without having visa. So it's a very great achievement, and also, as I mentioned earlier, 76 countries can enter with visa, e-visa system. So year by year, our government, our president is doing a lot of effort to increase this list as well. And shortly, in a couple months, probably we have another decree that it will allow more citizens of the world to enter to Uzbekistan without having visa. So we are working on it. So during these 2 years, the huge event, huge things done on this site. So on the digitalization things, during this COVID-19, the Uzbekistan 360 online tour project was launched in April of this year. The main thing is to promote the tourist sites of Tashkent. So we create this online tour project. Also, we run up this kind of each site of Tashkent on the Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram of our department. It's a department for the tourism development of Tashkent city. And we checked out the last month. It's more than 200,000 users already using this online tour. So it's very useful for on a distance to show which kind of sites, which kind of tourism objects we have in Tashkent. So after pandemics, they able to come up to Tashkent and to Uzbekistan and to see that sites. And on this slide, we put up the website. It's uzbekistan.travel. Also, on the digitalization of during these pandemics, we also put up in each tourist site is around 20 right now. So on the next step, we're gonna put another 20 most popular tourist destinations in Tashkent. So tourists, the local and international tourists, able to get the full information regarding that object. It will go through our department's website when they use their mobile phones. You know, the mobile phones, they scan it and it will go through the our website, and they can get the photo gallery, also the full information and history about that object. And it's very useful. That project we launched in January of 2020, and we saw that this project already gave us result in this COVID-19 period. Like in April, from April to May, we calculated the tourists, the mostly right now the local tourists. So we got 15 and 20% increase of tourists on May. So also we can see in this slide the free city Wi-Fi zones in central streets and in around 200 facilities, and on the 3,000 sightseeing points. We put up a Wi-Fi, components for this. All things is for the useful of for the tourists, for the local and for the international tourists. As a result of this work, the number of tourists from April to May increased also for 15%. And right now, it's we put up a Wi-Fi points in 3,000 places on the points, and till end of the year, we're planning to put 5,000. And then we're trying to put in another cities like Samarkand, Bukhara, Hiva of Uzbekistan cities. So as you see, in the 2019, we got it's around 1.2 million tourists visited Tashkent. From that, 737,000 is foreigners. The others is locals. And you can see, for Uzbekistan, it's increasing year by year. So Uzbekistan in 2019, 6.7 million tourists visited Uzbekistan. and from that, 6.2 million is foreigners. Not local, but from that, 488,000 is from far abroad. So what we can say in a next slide, it's a South and South Triangle cooperation. As you know, Tashkent has an agreement for cooperation with more than 20 developing countries with friendly sister and friendly partnership. Tashkent regularly cooperates with partners in joint projects, knowledge exchange, and of course in tourism, and participate in the conferences and workshops. South and South cooperation, also triangle cooperation, is an important element of international development cooperation. It offers developing countries with economic in transition real opportunities to ensure sustained economic growth and sustainable development goals through individual and collective efforts. And South and South and Triangle cooperation promotes a wide exchange of knowledge and experience through programs, projects, and initiatives that help solve specific problems among the parties. So Uzbekistan and also specifically Tashkent is open for this cooperation with South and South cooperation and developing countries as well to doing all this effort, and we are open for the cooperation with all developing countries, because we all have to learn with each other, this kind of updated projects, so we can implement it in our countries. So to summarize, I would like to thank you, all of you, for your attention, and with kind regards, I would like to invite you, all of you, to visit Tashkent after COVID-19 period. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Duravi. We're glad to see the rapid progress of digitalization in your city and in the country. The measures you introduced range from the digital infrastructure connectivity, digital tour projects, as well as measures to facilitate visa entry and access to information. And we're happy to know that as a city, you collaborate with over 20 developing countries. Indeed, South-South cooperation meant to bring economies in transition, developing countries to share and to work together for more connected world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So first, I'm pleased to have Dr. Song Rui, Director of the Research Center of Tourism of the Chinese Academy of Social Science. Dr. Song's research focuses on sustainable tourism and leisure research. So, Dr. Song, we look forward to hear from your research. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great honor to attend this conference organized by UNOSSC. In fact, it's a very special experience for me to attend the international conference at home. I think it's also a special experience for our industry to suffer, to go through of this special crisis. I learned a lot from the speakers, the presentations above, and to know about the solutions such as the UNWTO against the COVID-19, and also learned about the experience and the practice of different provinces, cities from different countries. As we all know that tourism is very important and suffered a lot from this epidemic. And tourism not only means economy. For example, in Fiji, as we all heard, that it means 40% GDP. And in Sao Paulo, it means 18% of GDP. And it's also important to Henan province, to Dunhuang, the beautiful cultural cities. tourism means economy, means business opportunities, means consumption, but more importantly, it means livelihood to people. So I would like to share my own observations and thoughts on the, the impact of COVID-19 on not only economy but also on our industry, and how can we do via the leveraging tourism via digital innovation. As we know that the COVID-19 impact the economic a lot. Different international organizations have the different prospect numbers. For example, in the last several months, UN forecasted that the global GDP will witness minus 3.2 percentage in this year, and the situation in the developed countries will be worse, and developing countries will witness a slight slowdown. And the World Bank, IMF, and other international organizations also have the, it will be the different numbers, but the same trends. That means we will, how to say, we are on the most difficult time and faced the biggest challenge since World War II. And for the tourism, as the ladies from UNWTO said, the currently 100% of the destinations have different kinds of travel restrictions, and 141 countries or entities closed their borders. For the international arrivals this year, it will drop a lot, because UNWTO gave the different numbers during the period, and now it's it's about minus 50 to 70s. So it's said that it's the most difficult time since we have the new record. And the WTTC also have the pessimistic forecast. So our industry suffers a lot, from this epidemic, especially for the countries. And we give a lot of studies on the different destinations. For example, we created, in fact, our team created a phrase, means T20, just similar to G20. That means the most tourist arrivals destination in the world. That means including the domestic tourists and also the international tourists. We can see from the table that the most of the countries from T20 have the very big number of confirmed cases, and the T20 have a big percentage of the international world of the tourism industry in terms of the tourist revenue and the tourist arrivals. So that means we will have, especially in those countries, we will suffer a lot from the economic perspective. And in fact, in the last several months, we are all thinking that one very simple question: will the world and our industry will be changed forever by COVID-19? I think nobody can give the definite answer, but we can just think about if it changed forever. So what can we do from the industry perspectives? So I will give some examples, especially on the digital and innovations. to maybe give you some insights or maybe not. So I hope it will work in some way. For example, in China, we have a great percentage of the internet users. Now we have about 60% of the population use the internet, and more than 80 of them use the mobile phone. That means smartphone is very popular in China. There's a joke or some funny thing that even the grandma in China use the smartphone by the digital payment when they buy vegetables in the free market. So that means this is an advantage for the Chinese business to use the digitalization to promote tourism and to deliver the products and services. So Chinese tourists are technology intensively needed. And during the last several months, even the half year, and most of Chinese just stay at home, and we can't travel, not only travel abroad, but also can travel within the country. So cloud tourism become more and more popular in China, and most of the many destinations, many museums, many tourist attractions use different kinds of method of cloud tourism, such as video, image, stories, pictures, VR, AR, or different technologies to provide the information to make the marketing. For example, for the destinations like Wuhan, Beijing, and other cities, they use this cloud tourism to promote the image, to deliver some information, and to make some connection with their potential visitors. Most of the museums, especially the Forbidden City, Dunhuang, and also other natural tourist attractions such as Whitelist, Huangshan, or Zhangjiajie, they use this opportunity to promote their image. I'm sorry, it's Chinese characters. I can't translate this word cloud into English, but you can just have this image to know this situation. And for the cloud tourism, for example, the different museums, even some archaeological sites, galleries use this digital method, including Weibo or WeChat and the video and other vertical method to promote their products. And the most impressive to me and also to other Chinese is the online marketing of Wuhan city. You all know that Wuhan is the place where the first cases was found, and suffered a lot from this epidemic. And Wuhan used this, during this period, and Wuhan make the promotion, especially to the provinces which supported them during the most difficult time. This is a very impressive and emotion connection between the destination and the potential tourists. And as we did a survey with it's a very with great numbers of the examples of the samples, and it said many people said after the epidemic they will visit Wuhan, and maybe because of different reasons. But I think this promotion is very powerful for this situation. And the video marketing is also important for the destinations, especially in recent years. For the tourist attractions, live broadcast, virtual method, online museums, interactive app, and self-guided tour become more and more popular, and more and more tourists are interested with this method, and they are becoming to use this method. And for the tourist public services, the digital innovation can also do something. For example, from the side of the visitors or tourists, they need the emergency information delivered online. They are very concerned about the warning and the guidance information of the tourist flow, whether it's too crowded or it's okay. And they also concerned about the digital ID, especially in China, we have the green code. So different sites, different facilities have the different, will have the same green code. It's very convenient, for the visitors to use it. And then the online delivery of consumption coupons is also very popular. And others digital methods or technologies such as the reservation of tourist attractions. Maybe it's not very, maybe it's very common in the Western world, but in China, it's, just a new trend for the tourists to reserve their tickets before they get on site. So this is also very important for the digital, method during this period. And also the intelligent temperature measures, the monitoring system of tourist flows, the driverless transportation, and also tourists are interested with the new home and staffed hotel. These are all becoming more and more popular in China now. And many tourist business, when the people just stay at home, can't travel at all. So what the travel agencies or travel business can do, so sale or pre-sale while the live broadcast is it's becoming popular, more and more popular in China. This gentleman, he's not a comedian or a popular star. He's the board chairman of the biggest OTA, of the largest OTA in China, Ctrip. So he did a lot of, this kind of live broadcast to sell or pre-sale the tickets, the hotels, rooms, and other things. So generally speaking, we are on the very highly unconcerned era or period. So what can we do from the industry side? I think two things are very important. The first is the innovation, especially the digital innovation, or we call it digitalization. The other is cooperation between among the all of the stakeholders of our community, the global community, not only the international organizations such as UNOSSC or UNWTO, and also we need the local government support at different levels, national, provincial, municipal, or even county. And we also need the support from the business side. We need support from the academia. We need the support from the media. So innovation and cooperation maybe are the key for our to not only recover, not only survive and recover, and also growth during this difficult time. So that's what all I can share with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sung, for your analysis of the situation, policies, and trends of tourism sector, and also for your advice on tourism means economy, but more importantly, it is about livelihood. Thank you also for your highlight on innovation and cooperation. After hearing from the voice from academia, let's also move on to an important partner of the whole partnership for better recovery, that is NGO. I have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Jorge Ataca, Director General of the National Association of Mexican World Heritage Cities. Mr. Ataca works as a lawyer and independent consultant to the IDB, the World Bank, and many other institutions. Also gives advice to the whole UN system in Mexico. Mr. Ataca will give us a presentation on digital platforms for the economic recovery of small and medium enterprises in Mexico. Through the perspective of the National Association of Mexican World Heritage Cities. Mr. Ataca will also start his conversation with us with a short video of Mexico. Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Otaka, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for this opportunity to share with all of you the World Heritage in Mexico. As you mentioned, we have 10 Mexican cities inscribed in the list of UNESCO. And I am the general director of this organization. This organization is a unique form of grouping mayors of these 10 World Heritage cities in a non-profit organization. So this structure has helped us to comply with the Convention on the Protection of World Heritage of UNESCO. In 1984, the Mexican state adopted the convention, and in 1987, Mexico inscribed the first sites in the UNESCO list: Mexico City, the city of Oaxaca, and the city of Puebla. We have 35 sites, 27 of them cultural, 6 naturals, and 2 mixes. Out of these 27 cultural sites, we have the 10 Mexican World Heritage cities. This NGO that I am director of was created in 1996, and we have now 12 member cities. This is a very interesting sui generis NGO because we are a direct link between the federal government and the third level of government, the municipalities. And we have a direct link with several federal agencies precisely to preserve heritage, to promote nationally and internationally. We operate through working groups of municipal officials, a group of culture, a group of tourism, a group of urban development, etc. So public officials from the municipalities are the strength of our organization. The objective is to join efforts for the protection, the conservation, and promotion of Mexican World Heritage cities, and most important, to improve human development of these cities through the inscription of World Heritage cities. I would like to present this before continuing with the issue that brings us here, the digitalization, to show the potential of Mexican World Heritage cities. Mexico is number 4 in number of World Heritage cities around the world, just behind Spain, Italy, and France. And the position of income generated by international tourism, as you can see, is we are number 15. So we are number 4 on World Heritage cities, and we are number 15, while Spain, for example, is number 2 on generating income. So we think we have a huge opportunity there to increase the income of the Mexicans and of course of human development. We have the position on arrivals on number 6, and most important, the World Economic Forum Competitive Tourism Index has positioned us as number 5 on cultural and natural resources. So we believe that we have take good advantage of natural resources. Cancun is well known internationally, but this cultural heritage that we have in Mexico has not been promoted adequately internationally. So cultural competitiveness advantages had not been internationalized, and we are working on that. Mexico needs tools to promote globally local culture, techniques, and creative industries. And we have all that. These 10 World Heritage cities are all over the country, from the north to the south of our country. Our country, Mexico, is the size of Western Europe. So that's the size of our country and the importance and the greatness and the diverse of our culture, local cultures. So this pandemic, of course, hurt a lot the tourism sector in Mexico. These cities, cultural cities, live out of mostly national tourism, and national tourism was also hit. So we tried to find healing solutions And here is where digitalization is giving us a great opportunity. SMEs have been very hurt. There was not a lot of governmental programs to help SMEs heal what they have suffered through this pandemic. And we decided through our organization, since we have the contact with these 10 municipal governments, to have these Mexican World Heritage Cities contact us with the SMEs, restaurants, hotels, creative industries, tour guides, to contact each of these 10 cities, all their SMEs, and to consolidate us the information through our organization. We are centered in Mexico City, and we created this digital platform for economic recovery. This economical platform, what the aim is to build a network of SMEs of all these cities to offer their services, and not only to offer them, to also to get to know the city, to all the people. And we are working also on a dialogue with the OECD on regional attractiveness for inclusive and sustainable development. So the first stage is going to be to connect nationally and to promote nationally, and they go internationally, because we think we still have a huge opportunity, space to grow internationally and to change the image of our country, so people can get to know the richness, the cultural richness of our country. So this is the address for the digital platform. I want to tell you that this network is to work together. We are planning to have 200 SMEs at the beginning, when we are going to be launching this Friday here in Mexico, this platform. We are going to launch it now because we are just finishing on lock in Mexico City after a pandemic. So, and we are still, as I mentioned, Mexico is the size of Western Europe. So we are have different situations in these different cities. Some cities have bigger problems with the pandemic, and some others have a different perspective. So we are taking that, and this digital platform is helping us for this recovery of the tourism sector. Of course, the program of responsible host program is to make a tourist feel safe. And after that, then we start with the benefits and discounts. This is a benefit and discount program for tourists. You can see we are going to have each of the cities that are inscribed in UNESCO list. People will get into the city and see which SMEs are offering what kind of benefits. And we have a third phase, which is a loyalty program. Those visitors who visit more than one World Heritage City in Mexico can register their visit, and they will have bigger benefits in their second visit. And we are, as non-profit organization, are going to control this system, this platform, and well, we hope we can be helping these SMEs to get through this unfortunately contingency. But we believe that people are going to be using this platform, and we are not going to use it only at this stage. I think this was the right moment to start a digital relation with SMEs around our country. So that's what I wanted to present. Thanks again for the opportunity. And if you have any questions, of course, I will love to answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Alpaca, for introducing your association and also your support to SMEs among those cities. Indeed, today, cities are more and more connected, and digital platforms help them to be even closer to each other. And I can already see there are a lot of opportunities to explore to connect and work together with other associations and also with our city-to-city South-South cooperation projects. So we look forward to following up this webinar to have more discussion with you. Thank you very much. Well, now let's move on to the last session of today's long webinar, but very exciting and interesting. We have opened the floor to questions. Well, what I would like to manage is maybe let me share first 3 questions and then see if anybody have more comments or questions. Also, the questions can be directed directly to specific panelists, or overall, if any panelists would like to follow up, offer some insights, feel free to let me know either through chat box or through raising your hands. So the first question we have received is for Henan province. I know from the screen that we have not only Mr. He Jinping, but also a whole team of the provincial government of Henan, including Mr. Jiang Jiding, the Director General for Tourism and Culture, and other colleagues. So the question for you all is, does Henan have any plan to share the experience of smart tourism platforms with other developing countries, provinces, and cities? If yes, would you like to share more about these plans? So that's the first question. Let me read out all the questions I received so far. The second one is a question for Mr. Isabek Durarev from Tashkent. Were there any challenges in the process of digitalizing the tourism sector in Tashkent city and in the country? What was the lessons learned in implementing the e-visa, public Wi-Fi, QR code programs? What can other developing countries learn from it in your partnership with over 20 developing countries you mentioned? The third question is for Mr. Jorge Ortega. What is your recommendation for national and regional specialized associations to mobilize municipal governments and the private sector to participate in the digital platforms and digital programs to boost the economy, especially with the focus on boosting small and medium enterprises, which are closest to the livelihoods of people living, around near poverty lines? So thank you. Those are the 3 questions. Maybe we can invite a representative from Henan province to address the question first.
When the international traveling is facing difficulties, I'm very grateful for this occasion to share and exchange. Smart traveling is a continuous process. For Henan's smart traveling platform is also in progress. If any guest and a friend is interested in our platform, we are willing to have more communications, and we want to provide all the help and assistance to you. And we also welcome you to Henan province in China for a visit. And so that you can experience the mountains and rivers and culture in Henan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jiang, for your openness to share. And also you mentioned you're providing training through online platforms on various skills of digitalization for tourism sector. I hope those training can also be made available to other developing countries so that we can all share the knowledge together. Thank you. Now I would like to maybe ask Mr. Juraev from Tashkent to address the question for you. Thank you. What was the challenges? What was the challenge, and what can other developing countries learn and share with you? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Let me tell you that always when you do the new project, always little bit challenges it is, you know, but our government, especially our Tashkent city administration, and also the tourism committee is always open for new ideas, and so that's why it wasn't do any you know, the challenges to realize these kind of projects and digitalization of the tourism sector of Tashkent. For example, the Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi zones, e-visa system, and QR code programs and online tour. It wasn't any difficult projects. So that's why it wasn't any challenges on this project, because our country, our government is open for new ideas. So we didn't have any problems to realize that kind of projects. And we learned a lot of useful you know, things to realize these kind of projects, and we will be learning more the other developing countries and such a projects, like similar projects on the which is we saw on today's you know, presentations, on the video rolics, I mean on the videos and on the presentations. So and it's a big thanks for United Nations Office for South and South Cooperation to organize such a good you know, webinar, and we look forward to participate on such a good webinars which you will organize, and it will help us to get more opportunity and good exchange to do in our countries this kind of projects. And the other developing countries which we are working with it also getting this kind of ideas. And I don't know exactly which countries already got like project which we did it, but I hope it will help to develop their tourism sector in their countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think we will continue organize such webinars to invite more countries to share their solutions, and also use these webinars as a bridge to connect partners and to work together to have a better digitalization strategies and better recovery and growth of tourism sector. Thank you.
Sure,
Well,
thank you.
now let's move on to invite Mr. Jorge Ataca. What's your recommendations for other associations as yours, and maybe also national, regional, global platforms for cities to really mobilize government and private sector to participate in the digitalization? Thank you.
Thanks for the question. In Mexico, as we know, the Caribbean has been developing a lot. There are multinational enterprises that are able to make big promotional campaigns, national and international. They have the resources, they have the means, they have these capacity building programs for their employees. And SMEs in historical centers, they don't have these means. So we thought, after seeing that there were such few programs to help SMEs during this pandemic, that there was a need for a network. And how we decided to build this network? Well, as I mentioned, this association is built by the participation of municipal governments. It's an NGO with a different legal personality. It's a person itself, but the associates are the municipal governments. So it's a sui generis category of a non-profit organization. But this helps us a lot because these municipal governments have a permanent relation with businesses, with business associations, with the Chamber of Commerce at the local level, and they help us to contact this Chamber of Commerce. And we presented the project, and the need of this network all over these World Heritage cities in Mexico. And we were very fortunate to have a great response from the SMEs. They realized that they need this strength to present themselves. We have as a common issue the World Heritage of each of these cities, even though they are different. The World Heritage city of Zacatecas in the north of the country is different to that city in the south of Campeche. And we were able to build this network to make them understand that in order to have a better promotion, now that we are going to be opening again the businesses, the tourism sector, first at the national level, I think this potential of digitalization is very important now that there are going to be a lot of independent tourists. Independent tourists, they do their search in the web by themselves. We know that. So they needed to access a platform, and this platform, digital, is not very expensive. And this association, it was able to build it and to offer to them. So they all agree, and we are having for the launch next week almost 300 SMEs to start. So which are the recommendations? Of course, SMEs are very heterogeneous, and there is an uneven understanding of the productivity. So there is a lot of need of make them understand the potential of using these tools. That's to start. Of course, the contact with the private sector through the municipal governments, with chambers of commerce, with business associations, that was key for the success of this platform. And well, of course, to deliver these SMEs the needed help at this moment. So it was a situation that helped this to develop this tool, this digital tool. Thank you very much for the question and for the invitation again.
So colleagues and friends, it has been a real pleasure to learn from the stories from so many places in the world, to travel within the short 2 hours to all different countries, different cities, to visit your places, to learn about your culture, but more importantly, to learn the valuable knowledge of how you leverage digitalization to support the recovery and growth of tourism sector. As we have heard, tourism is not just about economy. It's about people and livelihood. It is about our planet, our history and culture. Digitalization offers a historical opportunity for us to not only recover, but rebuild a future that is more connected, more sustainable, and more prosperous. The learning today, I hope, will be inspiring for more actions in the Global South in advancing planning, business model, and impact of tourism in the post-pandemic era to a strong drive for economic recovery, for social enhancement, and for the achievement of the SDGs. We will continue such webinar series and hopefully to connect more partners to transform all the speakers today into real partners in action through South-South and triangular cooperation. Once again, thank you very much for your contribution, and let's work together to build a better world through all different means, and digitalization is a way to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you all. Bye.